Okay, real talk before we get into anything else. One AI assistant, 700 full-time employees worth of work, 1 month. That's not a prediction. That's not a pilot program. That's what Klarna, the buy now, pay later company, reported this week about their AI customer service deployment. Now, I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this because there's a version of this story where you are the Klarna, building the systems at scale, and a version where you're one of those 700. Let's make sure you know which version to build. Hi, I'm Shaka, and if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm a 21-year Accenture veteran, a single mom, and someone who has spent the last few years figuring out exactly how corporate professionals can use AI to build income and freedom outside of their 9-to-5. I do a weekly briefing every Tuesday covering the biggest AI updates, not the technical stuff, not the Silicon Valley hype, but the real-world implications for people like us. People who have expertise, who are good at what they do, and who are trying to figure out what this AI moment means for their careers and their futures. Today is a big one. Let's get into it. GPT-5.5 and Anthropic, Harvard. All right, 2 big model updates this week. OpenAI dropped GPT-5.5. And before you go, oh, not another model release, hear me out, because this one is different. GPT-5.5 is what they're calling agentic capabilities, meaning it doesn't just answer questions anymore. It can execute tasks, multi-step autonomous task. It can write code and run it. It can research something and synthesize it and format a deliverable all in one workflow. You know that thing where you spend 3 hours on a deliverable that is basically just taking information from 4 places, organizing it, and formatting it nicely? GPT 5.5 can do that now in like 6 minutes. And if you're on a paid plan, you already have it. Meanwhile, Harvard's Faculty of Arts and Sciences just dropped ChatGPT and replaced it with Anthropic's Claude. Harvard just switched. They said Claude is better for their use case, which is a fancy way of saying for serious, nuanced writing and analysis, Claude is winning in high-stakes environments. The takeaway from both, this is a great week to actually sit down and test both tools on a real work task. Pick one thing from your job, run it through GPT 5.5, then run it through Claude. See what you get. That's not a homework assignment. That's a consulting story you'll be telling your clients for the next year. Meta, layoffs, plus the China drama. Okay, on to Meta. This one got layers, baby. Meta announced they're cutting approximately 8,000 jobs. That's 10% of their workforce, and they frame this as companies love to do. It's an efficiency measure to offset our AI investments. Translation, we're spending billions on AI and we're funding it by reducing human headcount. Now, simultaneously, this is where it gets interesting. China blocked Meta's $2 billion acquisition of an AI startup called Manus. Blocked it, ordered them to undo the deal, except Manus employees already joined Meta and investors had already been paid. So no one's quite sure what undo the deal actually means. This is the new reality of AI in 2026. Geopolitics is AI strategy, where a company is headquartered, who funded them, where their data lives, and all of this is now a business risk, not a policy question. Look, I know we didn't get into our corporate careers thinking we'd need to understand US-China AI policy to do our jobs, but here we are. And honestly, the people who understand this micro picture are the ones who get brought into the strategic conversations. So now you know, and I'm the one who told you. AI in the wild. Okay, this is my favorite part of every week, and I've got some genuinely surprising ones today. So first, Abridge. Not a household name, but pay attention. Abridge is an AI platform for doctors. It listens during patient visits with consent and then automatically completes the clinical note and updates the patient record. The doctors review it and approves it. That's it. The results? Doctors are spending 60% less time on paperwork after their shifts. And get this, physician satisfaction went up 85%. I want you to think about that for a second, because this isn't about AI replacing doctors. It's about AI removing the thing that was making doctors miserable and burning them out. The admin work, the documentation, the 2 a.m. catch-up notes. Now, Who in your life is the equivalent of that doctor? Doing brilliant work, drowning in administrative burden, because if you can identify that person or that profession and you know how to use AI to give them their evenings back, that is a consulting business. Don't forget I told you here first. Now, the Klarna story I mentioned in the hook. Here's the full picture. Klarna deploys an AI customer service agent that operates 23 languages. Let me say that again. 23 languages 24/7. In 1 month, it handles the equivalent workload of 700 full-time employees, and customer satisfaction held steady or improved. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Not panic, but a question. What is the first thing a customer or client experience when they reach out to your side of the business? Because that's where you build your Klarna moment. An intake form handled by AI, a welcome sequence that runs while you sleep, a calendar booking system that qualifies clients before they get to you. The do-it-all worker answers every email herself at 10 p.m. The life architect, which we're trying to do, is building a system that works while she and her kids are at a soccer game. And one more, L'Oreal, global beauty brand. And you know, I love me some beauty. Well, maybe you don't know yet, but you know now. They've integrated AI into their daily creative production. A campaign shoots once. AI adopts the visuals for every platform, every market, every format in hours instead of weeks. If you're building a personal brand or a content-based side business, this is your permission slip. Create once, let AI multiply it everywhere. Workforce displacement. Let's talk about the layoff numbers because they deserve a moment of honesty. 80,000 tech workers laid off in Q1 of 2026. Nearly half of those cuts officially attributed to AI. Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, the biggest names in the game, cutting headcount while simultaneously spending billions on AI infrastructure. Here's what's real and the spin. What's real? Task-based repetitive jobs are being displaced. Customer service reps, junior analysis, entry-level coders, basic admin roles, those are being automated and it's accelerating. Here's the spin. Almost 60% of hiring managers in a recent survey admitted they emphasize AI in layoff announcement because it plays better with stakeholders than saying, we need to cut costs. There's a lot of AI washing happening in the headlines. Which is very corporate of them, honestly. We're not laying people off because of budget pressure. We're evolving with technology. Sure, Jan. But here's what I know for certain. The professionals who are thriving right now are not the ones running away from AI. They're the ones running towards it. They're getting hired for roles that didn't exist 2 years ago. They're building practices around helping others navigate this exact transition. The corporate escapee who learns to be the bridge between AI capability and the business value is the most hireable, most consulted, and most in-demand profession in the room she walks into. And remember to send me a tip when you make this extra money, honey, because I told you first. Okay, I'm kidding. Well, maybe not. I do accept Zelle, just in case you want to know. Companies to watch. Quick insider intel on 3 companies worth knowing about. Not because you need to invest, because I'm not a financial planner, but because knowing this stuff makes you sound like you actually pay attention. Which now you do. Number 1, Cerebrus Systems. They build AI chips that compete with NVIDIA. Literally, the size of an entire silicon wafer. They've got 15 to 22 billion IPO in the pipeline for Q2 of this year. If you're advising any client on AI infrastructure, knowing that Cerebrus exists and what they do puts you at a level above the conversation. Number 2, Cohere, the enterprise AI alternative built specifically for regulated businesses, banking, healthcare, government, deeply secured focus designed for companies that can't just jump their data into ChatGPT. If you work in finance, healthcare, or government, your organization is most certainly evaluating Cohere right now. Number 3, Shield AI. They build autonomous AI pilots for military crafts. $2 billion raise, $12.7 billion valuation. I know, wow. But defense AI is one of the fastest growing sectors in the market, and understanding it is an emerging consulting niche with serious barriers to entry and serious pay. And we're trying to get that money. Okay, here is the one thing I want you to take away today. The companies cutting jobs and the companies building AI, often the same company. That's not a contradiction. It's a strategy. And the professionals who understand that strategy, who can speak to it, who can help organizations navigate it, those are the people who don't get cut. Those are the people who get called, honey. So build the expertise. Tell the story. Position yourself now. The life architect doesn't wait for disruption to come to her. She sees it coming and she builds the bridge while there's still time to build it. Okay, if this kind of real talk AI briefing is useful to you, hit subscribe. I drop it once a week, most weeks on Tuesday. And if you're ready to actually start building, if you want a step-by-step plan for using AI to reclaim 10 to 15 hours a week and start creating income outside of your 9 to 5, grab my free 7-day AI Jumpstart. Link is in the description below. It's 7 days. It's free, and it's the most practical thing you can do for yourself this week. Okay, bye. See you soon.